Hello dear students. So, coming to the subject of data mining and data warehousing, module 2, in continuation with the previous video lectures. Now, I will go to the next part of module 2, that is called as data mining. So, in this video lecture we are going to study the definition of data mining, why data mining is required, and what are the applications of data mining. Now, before going to details of the definition of why data mining is required, let us see why to mine the data. So, what is the need to mine the data? First, from commercial viewpoint, as you know, a lot of data is being collected and warehoused. For example, web data and e-commerce. So, whenever you perform certain operations on the web, you are continuously monitored and all your search history, watch history, everything is stored into the web. Web knows what you are interested in and what you don't like. Okay, so a huge amount of data is collected and is present into the data warehouse, that is collected either from the web data or from the e-commerce. Purchases at departmental grocery store. So, whenever you go to a department store or a grocery store, you purchase so many things, and the departmental store keeps a record of which things are you are interested to buy and what type of customers is interested to buy which type of product. Based on that, he will be buying the product into this in his department, so that the customers, when they visit his department, are satisfied with the groceries available or the required items are available. So, your data regarding your likes and dislikes is present at the department warehouse. Bank or credit card transaction, that is also. So, whenever you buy a product using a credit card transaction or a debit card, your transaction is noted always. Now, which type of transactions and due, which type of products you buy using a credit card, and in future offers will be given to you from the different companies for using credit card. You might have observed on a Flipkart and Amazon, if you use an HDFC card or an Axis Bank card, you will get 5% off, 10% off. It is all the business point of view. For all these reasons, your data, a lot of data is being collected from all these different sources and it is warehoused. So, data mining technique can be used to import a wide range of business intelligence applications. That is not only business application, it is a business intelligence application, where the information regarding the customer likes and dislikes is kept in detail, such as customer profiling, targeted marketing, workflow management, store layout, and the fraud detection. What are the customer profiles? What type of marketing we need to do? What is the workflow we need to continue? What is the layout of the store and how a fraud has to be detected? It can also help the retailer answer the important business questions, such as who are the most profitable customers. So, when you mine when you have a huge amount of data related to the customers and so many things, you have data from the web, you have data from the departmental store, you have data from the bank and credit card transactions. From that you are able to understand the business intelligence, you are able to know who are the most profitable customers, what product can be cross sold or upsold. Means if I buy one product, what is another related product I will buy. For example, if I buy a milk, I will buy a bread. And what is the revenue outlook of the company for the next year. So, this is from the commercial point of view why we need to mine the data. Now, coming to the scientific wave. So, data is collected and stored at enormous speed, that is GB per hour. Data is also collected with respect to the scientific wave, data is also collected and stored at enormous speed. So, that is GB per hour. Example, remote sensors on a satellite. A huge amount of sensors from the satellites are sending data from satellite station to the base station. A huge amount of telescopes scanning the skies, giving a huge amount of data. Scientific simulations are also giving a huge amount of data to the scientist. As an important step towards improving our understanding of Earth's climate system, NASA has deployed a series of Earth orbiting satellites that continuously generate global observations of the land surface, oceans and atmospheres. Because of this, we will be able to understand the temperature, the predictions of the rain, predictions of the earthquakes, predictions of the cyclones, there is disaster management. All this can be maintained, and that is only possible when you mine the data collected from the remote centers, from the satellite, and you mine the data and get details from it. So, coming to the techniques developed in data mining can aid Earth scientists in answering the questions such as: what is the relationship between the frequency and intensity of ecosystem disturbance such as drought and hurricanes to a global warming? Due to what reason today a global warming is happening? What is the relationship between the frequency and intensity of a ecosystem which is disturbing the complete globe and resulting in global warming? How land surface precipitation and temperature affected by ocean surface temperature? What is, because of ocean surface temperature, what is its effect on the land? How well we can predict the beginning and end of a growing season for a region? So, this is all possible only when you collect the data from the satellites and telescopes and simulations, scientific simulations, and when you mine data, you will be able to understand and you will be able to answer for these questions. Now, coming to the definition of what is data mining. Data mining is a process of automatically discovering useful information in large data repositories. So, when a huge amount of data or a large amount of data repositories available with you, so from that data you should be able to discover what is the useful information present in that automatically. That thing is called as data mining. Finding hidden information in the database. When you collect a huge amount of data from the different sources, different external and internal sources, you need to find what is the hidden information, what is the secret information present in that, so that we can predict the future in a better way. Data mining techniques are deployed to scour large databases in order to find novel and useful patterns that might otherwise remain unknown. They also provide capabilities to predict outcome of a future observation, to predict what can happen in a future. These all things is possible because of data mining today. So, let us see the applications of data mining. So, one of the application of data mining today is a banking, that is loan credit card approval. So, given a database of 1 lakh names, which persons are the least likely to default on their credit cards? So, when 1 lakh customers are present, a database is present, now you need to determine which persons are likely to be default on their credit cards, which persons will repay back their loan. If I give a loan to a particular person, whether he will repay back it or no, predicting that thing is data mining. So, today whenever you go for a bank to buy to take some loan, now what is being told? So, now your credit score is being checked, and based on your credit score, is if it is more than 700 or 750, you will be given with the loan. That is a good credit score, means whenever you take a loan, you repay it on time. Now, customer relationship management, which of my customers are likely to be the most loyal and which are most likely to be leave for a competitor. Now, which of the customers coming to your shop, whether they are loyal to you or they will switch to the another store or another shop whenever a competitor comes to you. You need to earn their confidence, so that the customers are most loyal to you. So, that is only possible when you analyze the data related to a customer. Targeted marketing, identify likely responders to our promotions. Now, when you want to improve your business, you want to sell these many number of products today or in a year, you want to increase your business in 1 or 2 states. Now, when you go for promotions, who are giving support to you, which type of people like your product. Coming to the fraud detection, telecommunications, financial transaction form an online stream of event identify fraudulent events. Today, with telecommunication channels or financial transactions, a lot of fraudulent events are happening. So, whenever you go for a financial transaction, so your credit card may be hacked, or your debit card may be hacked, or your password may be hacked, and on behalf of you some person is doing an online transaction, because of which you are able, your amount is deducted from your bank account. Manufacturing and production automatically adjust knobs when process parameter changes. So, whenever you are performing in manufacturing and production in a company, so using data mining techniques, you need to able to adjust certain parameters, so that a production process will continue to be normal without causing any defects or abnormalities in the product. In medicine, disease outcome, effectiveness of a treatment, analyze patient disease history, find relationship between the diseases, are all the applications of the data mining in medicine. So, whenever you give a treatment to a particular patient, how much effective it is, what is the history of a patient in the last 5 years or 2 years or 2 years, for all which all diseases he has been affected by, and what is the relationship between those diseases, is all things related to the data mining. Molecular or pharmaceutical, identify new drugs. Based on the products, based on the drugs available today, what modifications can be done in the molecular structure, or so that new drugs can be identified which are more better or more effective than the existing medicines. Scientific data analysis, identify new galaxies by searching for subclusters. So, huge numbers of galaxies are present, so still we are not yet identified. Now, using the scientific data analysis, we will be able to analyze, we will be able to identify new galaxies present into the space by searching for the clusters. So, that is only when we data mine, when you mine the data from a scientific data, scientific view, that we call as scientific data analysis. Website, store, design and promotion, find affinity of visitor to pages and modify layout. Websites, today everything is going online. So, which type of product do people like? Okay, based on that, modify the store and design and promotion. Now, this is all the data mining. Now, what is not data mining? Finding all credit card applicants with the last name of Smith. This is not a data mining. I am listing the credit card holders whose last name is Smith. Identify customers who have purchased more than $10,000 in the last month. This is not the data mining. Find all the customers who have purchased milk. No, this is also not a data mining. You are just listing out all the customers who are interested to buy the milk. No, along with milk, what is the next type of item a particular customer buy? That is data mining. Looking up individual records using a database management system is not a data mining. Looking up phone numbers in a phone directory is not a data mining. Finding particular web pages via query to an internet search engine is not a data mining. Now, what is data mining? Finding all credit applications who are at poor credit risk, that is classification, classify who are a good credit repayers and who are not. Identify customers with similar buying habit, that we call as a clustering. The same thing, what is mining and what is not mining, a little bit difference between that. Identify customers with similar buying habits, that is what is clustering. For all the items which are frequently bought with the milk, that is association rule. Along with milk, instead of finding which all customers are interested to buy the milk, let us find along with the milk what are the other products that are buy along with the milk and who are all those customers is a data mining. Discover group of the similar documents on the web is data mining. Certain names are more popular in certain locations. Why? Finding out that thing is data mining. Data mining and knowledge discovery. What is this? Data mining is an integral part of knowledge discovery in databases. Knowledge discovery in databases, that is called as KDD, which is the overall process of converting raw data into an useful information. So, here figure 2 shows the process of knowledge discovery in databases, KDD. Now, what we are doing? We are taking an input data and from that input data I am getting information. How? By applying data mining. So, before I mine the data, I am performing data processing, B processing and data post processing. What I am doing in data pre-processing? I am performing feature selection, dimensional reduction, normalization, data subsetting. Whereas, in post processing, I am filtering the patterns, I am performing utilization and pattern interpretation. So, knowledge data mining, knowledge discovery in databases is having only 3 steps. One is data pre-processing, data mining and post processing. And data pre-processing, what we are doing? We are performing feature selection and so on, whereas in post processing I am performing certain filtering and visualization and pattern interpretations. Now, let us see what is data pre-processing. Pre-processing, the input data can be stored in a variety of formats, that is flat files, spreadsheets or relational tables. and may reside in a centralized data repository or to be distributed across multiple sites. Now, this is the raw data, flat files is the raw data, spreadsheet is the raw data, relational tables are the raw data, and that may be present in a centralized data repository. The purpose of pre-processing over here, what we are doing? We are performing pre-processing. The purpose of the pre-processing is to transform raw data into an appropriate format for subsequent analysis. For subsequent analysis, I need to convert this raw data into an appropriate format, so that I can easily perform data mining task. That all we are doing over here by applying feature selection, dimensionality reduction, normalization, data subsetting. Data pre-processing include fusing data from multiple sources. So, when you are getting data from multiple sources, fuse them, consolidate them, summarize them, so that you get an appropriate data. Clean data to remove the noise, extract the data, clean the data, so that you remove the noise and remove duplicate observations, and select records and features that are relevant to the data mining task at hand. You need to select only those records and features that are relevant to the data mining task at hand. That is all what we are doing at data pre-processing. Now, post-processing, ensure that only valid and useful results are incorporated into the system. Make sure that only you get useful information or valid information to the data mining. From data mining, you get only the valid and useful information, which allows analysts to explore the data and data mining results from a variety of viewpoints. So, here you can apply testing methods during post processing to eliminate spurious data mining results. Now, what made the data mining to be developed? The following are some of the specific challenges that motivated the development of data mining. First one is scalability. Because of advances in data generation and collection, data sets with size of gigabytes, terabytes or even petabytes are becoming common today. If data mining algorithm today are able to handle this gigabyte, terabyte or even petabyte of data, then they have or they must be scalable. So, data mining algorithms have to be scalable. Scalability may also require the implementation of a novel data structure to access individual records in an efficient manner. Even you have a gigabyte or terabyte or even petabyte of data available with you. So, you need to implement a novel data structure so that you will be able to access individual record in an efficient manner. Second is high dimensionality. Now, it is common to encounter data with hundreds or thousands of attributes. Now, today you have a data with hundreds or thousands of the attribute. Now, what you will do with that? When a huge amount of data is available with hundreds or thousands of attributes, now traditional data analysis techniques that were developed for low dimensional data often do not work well for such high dimensional data. So, now here I need to apply some data mining algorithms which will be working for a data with hundreds or thousands of the attribute. That is again a motivating challenge for the data mining today. Heterogeneous and complex data. So, today in a recent years, what we have seen, emergence of more complex data objects. Today data objects are more complex. How? Collection of web pages containing semi-structured text and hyperlinks. Now, if you collection the data from the web pages, they contain semi-structured text and hyperlinks. if you take a DNA data with sequential 3-dimensional structure, now the structure of the DNA today, now if the data related to DNA is now in a 3-dimensional structure. Climate data that consists of time series measurements, temperature, pressure, etc. on various locations of Earth surface, all these are complex data. Now you have the data mining algorithms have to deal with this type of data. Data ownership and distribution. Sometimes the data needed for analysis is not stored in one location or owned by one organization. Now the data that is required for data mining is not available in one location, or it is not owned by one organization. Now instead the data is geographically distributed among resources belong to the multiple entities. Now what you will do in this case? In this case you need to develop a distributed data mining technique, then only you will able to analyze the data belonging to multiple entities. Now what are the challenges faced by the distributed data mining algorithms today? The key challenges faced by the distributed data mining algorithms today is how to reduce the amount of communication needed to perform the distributed computation. Now we have to reduce the amount of communication needed. How to effectively consolidate the data mining results obtained from multiple sources. When you get the results of data mining from multiple sources, now how we are going to consolidate it and get a proper result. So when you are performing a distributed communication, when you are performing distributed operation, now how we are going to address the data security issues over here. Now how secure is your data? How you make sure that your data is not accessed by anyone else? Origin of the data mining, coming to the relationship of data mining to the other sources. Draws idea from machine learning. So from where the data mining comes, the data mining or origin of data mining draws ideas from the machine learning, artificial intelligence, pattern recognition, statistics and database system. Traditional techniques may be unsuitable due to enormity of the data, high dimensionality of the data, heterogeneous and distributed nature of the data. Because of this, we need to go for what? We need to go for a new data mining algorithms. So data mining, the data, what type of data is mining? Data is coming to the data mining. Data is coming from the artificial intelligence, machine learning, pattern recognition, statistics, database technology, parallel computing, distributed computing, all these are generating a huge amount of complex data. Now you have to mine such type of data, so that, and that data is high dimensional data, this is heterogeneous data, this is distributed nature of the data, and you have to mine such a type of data, so that you get an appropriate results. Now data mining task. There are two categories of the data mining. One is prediction methods and another is description method. Prediction method use some variables to predict unknown or future values of other variables. So here in prediction we are using some variables already present to predict the unknown or future values of other variables, and description methods find human interceptable patterns that describe the data. It may be a classification that we call as a predictive, clustering is a descriptive, making a group of objects one class, a group of objects belonging to one class in one cluster, a group of objects belonging to another class in another cluster. Association rule discovery, dependency, descriptive. Sequential pattern discovery is a descriptive method. Regression is a predictive. Deviation or anomaly detection is a predictive method. Coming to the classification definition, what is classification? Given a collection of records, a training set is given. Now, each record contains a set of attributes, one of the attribute is the class. What you need to do? Given a set of objects, you need to classify them in different classes based on the attributes. Now, you need to develop a model, find a model for the class attribute as a function of the values for other attributes. So, you need to develop a model that will be able to classify the objects according to their attribute values. So, whenever you give an unseen object to this classification model, it will be able to classify to which class it belongs. So, the goal is previously unseen record should be assigned a class as accurately as possible. So, here if you want to test the accuracy of a classification model, what we give a test set, we give an input, an unknown record. Usually the given data set is divided into training set and that is all before the classification model. We train the classification model, we keep the records and we take any one of the training set, test set, we give the input and we check whether the classification model is able to classify it accurately or no. That is what the classification model. So, now here what is the input to the classification model? Training set, what I am giving? Refund, whether a person has taken the loan from the bank, whether he will repay back or no. Marital status, whether it is a married, single or divorced. Taxable income, how much? Cheat, class. Refund is a categorical, marital status is categorical, taxable income is continuous, whereas cheat is a class. Now, training set. Cheat means whether he will pay back the loan or no. So, this is a training set I am doing. Now, here I am having a learn classify algorithm. This is a model. Now, this is a test set. Now, refund status no, marital status single, taxable income is 75. Now, to which class it belongs, whether the cheat is equal to no or yes, that has to be predicted by this classification model. Classification application 1, first one is direct marketing. Reduce cost of mailing by targeting a set of customers likely to buy a new cell phone product. Now, what is direct marketing? Reduce the cost of mailing by targeting a set of consumers likely to buy a new cell phone product. Now, you need to target the people who are interested to buy a new cell phone product. Now, what is the approach? Use the data for a similar product introduced before. Now, you want to sell a new phone. The similar type of phone, who are the customers who have bought the same type of cell phone in the past? Take that data. Now, we know which customer decided to buy and which decided otherwise. This buy and don't buy decision forms the class attribute. Now, we will form a database which customers have buy the product and which are not buy the product. Collect various demographic, lifestyles and company interaction related information about all such customers, such a type of business where they stay, how much they earn, etc. Use this information as an input attribute to learn the classifier model. So, understand the complete profile of the customer and decide whether these people were going to buy a new product or no. That is called as direct marketing. Application 2, fraud detection. What is the goal? Predict fraudulent cases in credit card transaction. What is the approach? Use credit card transaction information on its account holder as an attribute. Now, you have the information. When does the customer buy? What does he buy? How often he pays on time, etc. Label last transaction as a fraud or fake transaction. This forms the class attribute. The previous transaction, whatever he did, whether that transaction was a fraud transaction or a fake transaction. How it is fair? If you give all the authentication and authorization properly, it is a fair transaction. And if you fail to give proper authentication and the login credentials, then it is a fraud transaction. Learn a model for the class transaction. Use this model to detect the fraud by observing credit card transaction on an account. Application 3, customer attrition or churn, to predict whether a customer is likely to be lost to a competitor. Now, whether the customer who is coming to your shop will go to the another customer or another shop who is your competitor. Now, what you have to do? Approach, use detailed record of transaction with each of the past and present customer to find attributes. How often the customer calls, where he calls, what time of the day he calls, his financial status, marital status, etc. Keep all this data. Label the customer as loyal or disloyal. Now, whether the customer who is coming to your store is loyal to you or no, or whether he will lose, you will lose him to his competitor. Found a model for loyalty. Clustering. Clustering is what? Definition. Given a set of data points, each having a set of attributes and similarity measure among them, find clusters such that. Now, you have a huge amount of data points and having a set of attributes with them, and you have a similarity measure among them. Now, you need to find a cluster. Clustering is nothing but grouping a set of data points into one class, similar objects on one part, another similar on another objects with similar attributes in another class, another group, grouping the different objects according to their attributes and so on. So, data points in one cluster are similar to one another. Now, this is what? All the data points in one cluster are similar to one another. Data points in separate clusters are less similar to one another. Data points in separate clusters. The data points which are present in two different clusters are less similar to one another because you have classified them. Now, how we are going to separate this? How we are going to say that the two data points are similar or non-similar? Now, based on Euclidean distance if attributes are continuous attributes, or some specific measures you can use to find out whether the two data points are similar or no. Clustering application 1, market segmentation. Goal, subdivide a market data into distinct subset of customers where any subset may conceivably be selected as a market target to be reached with a distinct marketing mix approach. What you have to do? Market segmentation. What is the goal? Subdivide a market into distinct subset of customers where any subset may conceivably be selected as a market target. Now, what you are doing? We are going to subdivide a total market into distinct subsets, and you have to target that area. Approach, collect different attributes of the customer based on their geographical and lifestyle related information. What you are going to do here? Now, based on the geographical locations, we are going to do marketing now. Collect different attributes of the customer based on their geographical and lifestyle related information. Based on the lifestyle, find clusters of similar customer. Now, you need to perform clustering of the such type of customers. Measure the clustering quality by observing buying patterns of the customer in the same cluster, whether those from the different cluster. Now, buying patterns, some people buy very costly clothes or branded clothes, whereas some part of the customers buy the normal clothes. And based on that, you can classify. Document clustering. Now, here the goal is to find the documents that have similar to each other based on the important terms appearing in them. Clustering, you have to group the documents based on the important terms appearing in them. For example, the approach, how we are going to do this? To identify frequently occurring terms in each document, form a similarity sure based on the frequency of the different terms. Use it to cluster. Now, check the how many number of terms, how many number of characters or how many number of words are repeating, important words are repeating. Based on that, you will be able to classify the document. Once again, information retrieval can utilize the clusters to relate a new document or search term to cluster documents. Now, association rule discovery definition. Now, what is association rule? They are being taken. So, given a set of records, each of which contain some number of items from a given collection, produce dependency rule which will predict occurrence of an item based on the occurrence of the other item. Now, you will be given with a set of records from a given collection. Now, based on the transaction, you need to produce a dependency rule which will predict occurrence of an item based on the occurrence of the other item. Now, let us see the transaction number 1. A person has bought a bread, coke and milk. Second has bought bread and beer. Third person has bought beer, coke, diaper and milk. Fourth person has bought beer, bread, milk and diaper. And fifth person has bought coke, diaper and milk. Now, let us see, one rule is discovered, milk equal to coke. Whenever a person has bought a coke, he has bought the milk one time, coke milk second time, coke milk third time. Now, check for the another case, diaper milk is equal to beer. So, the person who has bought a diaper has also bought the milk and also bought the beer. This is association rule discovery. Dependency means a person who buys the milk will buy a coke, and person who buys a diaper and milk will also buys a beer. Application, marketing and sales mix proportion. Let us the rule discovered be bagels equal to potato chips, antecedents and consequence. Now, potato chips as consequence can be used to determine what should be done to boost its sales. Now, what is? I want to increase the sales of the chips, potato chips. Now, bagels in the antecedents can be used to see which product would be affected if the store discontinues selling bagels. Now, what you want to do? You want to increase the potato chip sales, and second one, if a store stops selling the bagels, which products will be affected when we stop selling the bagels? Bagels in antecedent and potato chips in consequence that can be used to see what products should be sold with bagels to promote sales of potato chips. Now, association discovery. Now, what the product I have to sell along with the bagels so that potato chips are sold? That is an association rule discovery. Association rule discovery 2, application 2, supermarket shelf management. The goal is to identify items that bought together by sufficiently many customers. Now, I need to identify an item that are brought together by sufficiently many customers. How many number of customers buy the two items together? What is the approach? Process the point of sale data collected with a barcode scanner to find dependencies among the items. List out all the customers and check for which all products they have bought. What is the classical rule? If a customer buys a diaper and milk, then he is likely to buy a beer. So, do not be surprised if you find 6 packs stacked next to the diaper. Now, coming to the regression, these are all the parts of the data mining. Regression definition: predict the value of a given continuous valued variable based on the values of the other variable, assuming a linear or non-linear measure of dependency. Now, what is regression? Predicting a value of a continuous valued variable based on the value of other variables, assuming a linear or non-linear model of dependency. Greatly studies in statistics and neural network fields. So, regression is an important topic in the statistics and neural networks. As an example, predicting sales amount of new product based on advertising expenditure is a regression method. Predicting sales amount of a new product based on advertising expenditure. Predicting wind velocities as a function of temperature and humidity and air pressure based on the temperature, humidity and pressure, predicting what will be the velocity of the wind. Time series prediction of stock market indices. So, deviation anomaly detection definition: detect significant deviation from normal behavior. Anomaly detection or deviation is nothing but if a person behaves abnormally, that is nothing but anomaly detection or deviation. Detect significant deviation from the normal behavior. For example, credit card fraud detection. So, whenever I am performing a credit card application, if my authorization pins are wrong, if my transaction pins are wrong, if I am trying to buy a product which I am never buy in a lifetime, then that is nothing but a fraud detection. Network intrusion detection: when you are communicating with your friends over a mail or over a network, if somebody performs, if somebody is trying to hack your data is present in a server and somebody has logged into the server on behalf of you and trying to access the data and performing some illegal operations which you have never performed, that is nothing but an intrusion detection. So, with this we come to the end of the module 2 and the data mining things. So, in this video lecture we studied in detail what is data mining, why data mining is required, what are the different views of the data mining, what is called as data mining and what is not called as data mining, what are the applications of data mining and why data mining is necessary, and what is knowledge discovery in databases, that also things we have studied. And we also studied the application of data mining in classification, clustering, association real discovery and anomaly detection. With this we come to the end of module 2. I thank everyone. Thank you one and all.